And there were times last year where I was feeling low during the afternoon. I just don't know what was happening. I had this feeling of emptiness. I couldn't really exactly pinpoint the reason why I was feeling that way. And in parallel, I was starting, in the middle of the night when I was waking up, I was starting to feel anxiety. This was the closest word I could feel to describe what I was feeling during those moments. So it was strange because it really exactly never happened to me, and I finally understood what people were talking about when I was saying that they were feeling depressed. So this video is not a medical advice, but it's not for entertainment either. I'm just trying to provide some guidance on what the difference between sadness and depression is, because that made me think, am I depressed? And this is where I started the journey, if you want, discovering what was the difference. And you might be surprised on seeing how we differentiate both. So I'm just going to give you, several areas where I will go through them very quickly. And for each area, I would say, okay, this is more sadness and this is more depression. Okay, let's do this. And the first thing to have a look at is it really taking over your life, or there are still things that you enjoy doing? Now, in my specific case, this was only for a short period of time, and the rest of my day was normal. So this was the first indication, if you like, that what I had was more sadness, because when it's depression, it takes over your life and you don't really enjoy anything much. Another also obvious criteria is sleeping. Do you not sleep at all? Do you have really very, very poor nights? Or is that just something more punctual, and you might have one or two bad nights and after it goes back to normal? Once again, this is an indication that it could be only sadness if you sleep normally, and if if it doesn't last long when you don't sleep well. Another maybe more obvious one is, do you feel helpless? Do you feel hopeless? Do you feel that your self-worth is going down the drains? And you guessed it. If it's the case, it's probably, yes, depression. And but because when you're sad, you just have these moments, micro moments, and then the rest is just normal. Another thing is, and it's going to seem small, but I think it's quite indicative, is your place around tidy. Do you still keep doing things as normal? It's a little bit the same as I mentioned before about daily life, but do you still have the motivation as you had before to keep your environment tidy? And if yes, so that means that it's probably just a sadness, and it's definitely not depression. When I say definitely, once again, disclaimer, this is not medical advice. But there's something I want to say, because I had a look, and I don't always agree with everything that is being said. Like in my instance, for instance, I couldn't identify really a specific cause. I think this is a bit of a cliche to think, oh yes, someone happens to you, like a friend goes away, or you miss out on something, and then you are sad for a few days, and after you come back to normal. Yes, this is true. But in my case, for instance, I couldn't find any reason. There was no obvious reason, maybe one that I was not aware of, but in what happened in my life really hadn't changed. So maybe there's something in between sadness and depression for me. But what I found it quite reassuring to have a look about those criteria. Because when you start to, I was starting to say to whoever was willing to hear me, I'm depressed. Yes, I'm really depressed. Although it was lasting only a few, 30 minutes, 1 hour, and then maybe at night, where every time I was waking up. So, and now the rest of my life was just completely normal. So I had to stop saying this, that I was depressed. And then eventually it went away. So in your case, if it lingers, if you have some of the criteria that I mentioned that indicates that you are more in a depression circle, then so I suggest that you have a look at, you talk to someone that is probably more qualified than I am. But in conclusion, there's something I want to say though, is that there is another video that I made on dealing with your thoughts. Because what happened during those moments where I felt sad, I was trying, as I say, I was trying to find the cause. I was analyzing, I was journaling, and thinking there must be something there that I need to fix. Like when sometimes you wake up in the middle of the night and you feel anxious and you think, oh, this is something I need to fix. I'm feeling lonely, so I need to talk more to people. Or you just go into this fixing mode. But the challenge is that you really let your thoughts taking control over you. And this is why I suggest that you look at this video. And the way I let go of these moments of sadness was by having a look at this, the fourth tip that I give in this. And that really, honestly, got me out of it. So I strongly suggest it. I hope it was useful, and I'll talk to you soon in another video.